This presentation by Isabelle Jouve and Emma Roux discusses historical explanations for motivation.
Motivation is a need or desire that energizes and directs behavior.
There are so many different theories for motivation that try to explain why we do what we do and why we avoid certain things. The two main theories of motivation are the instinct theory and the drive reduction theory.
The instinct theory deals with automatic, inherited behavior that is shared by all members of a species, or instincts. One example of an instinct is a bird or a butterfly's innate reflexes to migrate.
Instincts became popular with Darwin's evolutionary psychology and the theory of natural selection that states that strong instincts would be passed down. Freud believed that the instincts of sex and aggression drove all human behavior. Lorenz noticed that animals form a social attachment to the first moving objects they see or hear during a critical period.
Instincts were very popular in the 1800s. Sociologists named over 5,759 supposed instincts. At this time, naming instincts was more common than explaining them. People used instincts as excuses for certain actions.
James identified that instincts were necessary for survival, including fear, love, anger, shame, and cleanliness. William McDougall believed all thoughts and actions necessarily resulted from instincts such as curiosity, aggression, and sociability.
Sociobiologists attempt to connect social behaviors to evolutionary biology through instincts. They show how instinctual differences between men and women result from evolution. For example, males may try to mate with multiple partners to increase the chance of passing on their genes. On the other hand, females may try to mate for life with the male who has the best resources to support her and her children.
Instinct theory views human behavior as the result of physiological needs. Genes predispose species-typical behavior.
One criticism of the instinct theory is that instincts can't explain all behavior. They cannot be readily observed and scientifically tested. Just labeling something as an instinct does not explain why some behaviors only appear in certain instances. The instinct theory fails to explain human motives.
This brings us to the most important question. How much of human behavior is driven by instinct? How much of our actions do we actually control?
The drive reduction theory is the idea that a physiological need creates an aroused tension state, or a drive that motivates an organism to satisfy the need.
Need is a state caused by a physiological deficit, such as a lack of food or water. A drive is a state of psychological tension caused by a need, which gives us motivation.
When a physiological need increases, so does the drive. For example, hunger and thirst are satisfied by eating and drinking.
Homeostasis occurs when all needs are fulfilled. It is the body's desire to maintain an internal metabolic balance. Metabolism, on the other hand, is all the chemical processes within our bodies that keep us alive.
Incentives are positive or negative environmental stimuli that motivate behavior. Individual learning histories influence our motives.
A criticism of the drive reduction theory is that it only accounts for primary motives like hunger, thirst, pain, and sex. Secondary, more social motives such as achievement, affiliation, autonomy, curiosity, power, and play are not covered by this theory.
The basis of this theory is that needs lead to drives, which lead to behaviors. For example, a need for food results in hunger, which motivates eating.